Okay, this is level I, list 11, and we're doing the day one. And this is a different way of writing the or sound in words. So you've learnt or as in corn. This is the new or sound here where we're putting an E on the end, but it's still making the or sound. You've learnt or like in pour or saw, I saw you at the park. And you've learnt O-U-R as in the number 4 or your, like your name. So there are about 9 different ways of writing the or sound. So this is another one. It's a little bit harder. We've got more, bore, core, saw, store, score, shore, chore, adore, and before. Okay. So let's have a look if we've got anything extra in these words that we need to highlight as well. So you know to use a C for the k sound before an O because you can see a C hidden inside an O, so that's your hint. Saw, don't forget we do have that other saw as well, which means something different. So this one here means you cut with a saw or you saw someone with your eyes. This saw means something hurts, where you've actually got a saw, which might be where you've cut yourself and you've got a scab on it, it's a saw, or something hurts. What else? Oh, we've got that C before an O again. You know the SH says shh. You know the CH says ch. And you know this E here makes its long sound before when we use B as a prefix on a word. Okay, so what do these words mean? More, the opposite to more would be less. So if you compare two things and someone is more than you, that thing, then you would say more or add ER quite often to the end of the word, like fast. More fast is faster. And the opposite is less. Bore means something is not very interesting, or it can also mean to dig a hole into something, make a hole into something, bore a hole into wood or dig a hole into the ground. A core is the central part of something, so if it was the apple, it would be the apple core, but it's the centre of something. We've talked about store. Store is a type of shop, and it can also be where you store things, where you keep things for a long time. Score could be the score in a game, so you keep a number tally of who is winning and how many points they have earned. And usually the one with the most points wins, but sometimes like in golf it could be the lowest score will win. Shore, this shore is where the ocean joins the land, and we call that the shore. There's another shore which means that you're certain of something, but we spell it differently. Chore is a job that you must do. Adore means when you absolutely love something, you adore it. And before means something comes before something else. So 9 comes before 10, or breakfast comes before lunch. It happens before whatever you're talking about. Okay, let's read those words, sound them, spell them, and write them. So we've got the word more, or, M-O-R-E, 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 and then you write it, and then you check it to make sure that it's spelled correctly, and if there's a mistake you rub it out and write it again. You can finish that. This is level I, list 11, and we're doing the day 2 page. So let's read these words. We've got more, bore, core, saw, store, score, shore, chore, adore, before. So here we're learning that there's another way to write the or sound, and it's O-R-E. So let's look at what these words mean. More means, if we're comparing two things, the one that means a little bit more than the other, we would say more before. Or sometimes we add ER to show more. Bore means if something's not very interesting, it might bore you. And bore can also mean to drill or make a hole into something. A core is the centre of something. A sore is where you've hurt yourself, you've cut yourself and you may have a sore. There is another sore as well. This sore is the sore that you cut with, and it can also mean when you've seen someone at the park, you might say, I saw you at the park. So that's a different way of writing it. Store is where you pack something away, you store it, or it could also mean when you go to a shop to buy something. Score is when you're playing a game and you keep a tally of who's winning or losing. You keep a score, a tally of the points. Shore, now this shore is where the ocean meets the land. There is another shore, but it's spelt differently, S-U-R-E. A chore is a job that you must do, whether it be at home or at work or at school. Adore means when you really love something a lot. And before is the pretense to something. So before you go to school, you must pack your bag, etc. So it's something you've got to do before you go somewhere. Finish the words, link to the meanings and rewrite. So you've got to fill in that missing O-R-E sound. And then you've got to work out which word means which definition, which links to which, and write the word again over here. Fill in the gap with the missing list word. We thought the movie was a bore probably, which means it wasn't very good. You can read those and finish them on your own. Now down here, just be careful. You've got the two shores and you've got the two sores. So you've got shore meaning definitely, and this shore meaning where the ocean meets the water. The water meets the shore or the beach. This saw means where you see something with your eyes or you cut with a saw, and this saw means where you've got a cut on your leg or a wound, and it could be sore, it could be hurting you, and you could have a scab or a mark there to show that there's a sore there. This is level I, list 11, and we're on the day 3 page. So we've got more, bore, core, saw, store, score, shore, chore, adore, before. So the O-R-E is making the OR sound in these words. We've got about 9 different ways of writing the OR sound. You've learnt this one, O-R, and you've learnt this one, A-W, as in saw and as in corn. Now we're learning another one too. So let's read the words, sound the words, spell the words, and write them. So we've got more, or, M-O-R-E, cover it and write it. And you can finish the rest of those on your own. If you want to pick another colour, you can make it easier for yourself by highlighting some of the other special sounds. You've got the SH, the CH, you've got a long A sound there, so we don't double the D. A-door, we should say. B-for, so we're not doubling that F. And you know that inside an O, there's a C hidden, so that's the hint to use a C before an O for the K sound. Same thing here, you've got the C hidden inside the O, so that tells you to use a C before an O for the K sound. Alright, let's have a look at what we have to do on the page. We've got plurals, so you know when we change a noun into a plural, meaning more than one, we usually add an S to the end of it. So we have bores, cores, saws. Here you have to take them back to their single form, so you'd have to get rid of the S. So it'd be store, score, shore. And here we're going back to making it into a plural, so you'd have to add the S onto the M. Now verb families, we're looking for the base words here. Here we're writing the base word plus the S. Here we're writing the base word plus the ing. Now remember the saying, E goes away, you take away the E, when ing comes to stay. So make sure you take away that E before you add the ing there. Now here on the last one, when we're doing past tense, we know we usually add ed to the end of a base word to make it mean it's be used in its past tense. So if the E's already there, you only have to add the D. You're not going to have 2 E's on the end of those words. So it's just going to be the D you're adding there. combine with the list word. You can use these words up here to work out what you can add to these words to make some word pairs. This is level I, list 11, and we're on to day 4, and we're talking about contraction. So what is a contraction? It's when we join words together and leave out some letters, and then we add an apostrophe where we've taken out the missing letters. So can't comes from the word cannot. And you can see here we've chopped out the NO, so where we've taken out the NO for not, we put the apostrophe in there. So she will, we take out the WI and we put the apostrophe in to show where we've taken out those 2 letters. So sometimes we take out 1 letter and sometimes we take out more than 1 letter, but the apostrophe always goes where the missing letters were. So cross out the letters and write the contraction with the apostrophe. So I plus am. You could say I am going to school, or you could say I'm going to school. So where we've taken out the A, that's where the apostrophe is. So when we do an apostrophe, we do a dot and we do a little tail on it. It's like a comma that we might do on a line, but an apostrophe is in the air. So is not, we could say he is not being nice to me, or he isn't being nice to me. So is okay, we're taking out the O here. So where we've taken out the O is where the apostrophe goes. So we are becomes we're, and she is becomes she's, he is becomes he's, he will becomes he'll, I will become I'll, we will becomes we'll. Now down here we've got read and change the words in brackets to contractions. So rather than saying we are having a karate competition today, we'd say we're. Now if this is at the start of a sentence, you've got to put a capital letter. So you do the we, comma for the where you've taken out the A, and the RE after that. We're having a karate competition today. You can finish these on your own.